Have you ever found yourself stuck in a cycle of frustration, stress, or disappointment, feeling like life is constantly pushing you down no matter how hard you try? We all go through difficult times, but what if I told you that the fastest way to ruin your entire life isn't necessarily due to external forces? The real danger comes when you surrender your mental and emotional power to those forces, when you allow your thoughts and reactions to be dictated by the world around you. The moment you stop taking responsibility for your mind, you begin to lose control of your life. The key to living a life of meaning, fulfillment, and inner peace lies in one simple truth. You are in charge of how you respond. It's time to reclaim that power. 1. The invisible force that controls your life. In our fast-paced, always connected world, it's easy to feel like life is happening to us. We wake up to messages, news, social media, and demands from all directions. It often feels like the world is directing our thoughts and actions, and we're just passengers in a ride we didn't choose. But the harsh reality is this: we allow this to happen. Every time you react impulsively to something, whether it's the angry comment of a stranger, the bad day at work, or the little annoyances that pile up, you give away a piece of your control. You become a passenger in your own life, letting external forces shape how you feel, how you think, and ultimately, how you act. This isn't just a matter of poor habits or bad luck. It's a fundamental loss of power. The Stoics were profoundly aware of this dynamic. They taught that life's challenges, whether it's the loss of a job, a betrayal by a friend, or the simple frustrations of daily life, are inevitable. But here's the most important lesson. How we choose to respond to those challenges is entirely within our control. What if, instead of reacting in anger or frustration when life doesn't go your way, you took a deep breath and chose a response rooted in calm, wisdom, and resilience? This doesn't mean denying your emotions or pretending that everything is fine. It means recognizing that, even in chaos, you have the ability to maintain your inner peace. This is where true power lies, in your ability to remain grounded, no matter what's happening around you. 2. Blaming the world. The road to powerlessness. One of the easiest traps to fall into is blaming external forces for our problems. It's so much easier to look outside ourselves for the source of our unhappiness. We blame the government for our struggles, our bosses for our dissatisfaction, our families for not understanding us. But each time we do this, we are giving away our power. The Stoics understood that there are things in life that we simply cannot control: the actions of others, the state of the world, the forces of nature. These things are beyond our reach. And yet, we often spend so much time and energy trying to change them, complaining about them, and feeling defeated by them. But by doing so, we remain stuck in a state of powerlessness. Take, for example, a person who constantly complains about their job. They may gripe about their boss, their workload, or the office environment. They may even blame the economy or the government for the lack of opportunity. But what do they accomplish with this blame? Does it change their situation? Does it make them feel better? No. It only keeps them in a cycle of negativity and frustration. The Stoics taught us to focus not on what we can't change, but on what we can: our own thoughts, our own actions, and our own decisions. This shift in focus is liberating. When we stop blaming the world for our troubles, we take back the reins of our lives. We realize that while we may not be able to control every external factor, we can always control how we respond to them. If you want to break free from this cycle of blame and powerlessness, it begins with a simple but profound realization. You are the only one who can change your life. You have the ability to choose your response, to change your mindset, and to take action, no matter what the world throws at you. 3. The cycle of complaints. Why it keeps you stuck. There's a reason complaints are so addictive. When you complain, you momentarily release the pressure building inside of you. You feel heard, validated, and like you're not alone in your frustration. But here's the catch. Complaining doesn't solve anything. It only reinforces a mindset of powerlessness and victimhood, leaving you stuck in a loop of negativity. When you constantly focus on what's wrong with your life, you create a mental environment where the problems seem bigger than they really are. Complaints magnify difficulties, making them feel insurmountable. Instead of seeking solutions, you find yourself ruminating on problems, giving them more energy, and making them feel more permanent. Take a moment and think about your own life. How often do you find yourself complaining about things that aren't going right? Maybe it's about your career, your finances, or your relationships. But does complaining ever change your situation for the better? Does it give you the clarity or motivation to improve things? Rarely. The Stoics taught that in every challenge, there's an opportunity to practice virtue. Rather than complaining about your situation, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What can I do to improve this situation, or to strengthen myself in the process? Every difficulty offers you a chance to grow, to develop resilience, to practice patience, and to demonstrate courage. When you shift your focus from the problem to the solution, you stop complaining and start creating positive change. 4. From victim to victor. How I reclaimed my power. I understand all too well how easy it is to fall into the trap of complaining and blaming. There was a time in my life when I felt like everything was stacked against me. I'd look at my circumstances, see the obstacles in my path, and believe that there was nothing I could do about them. I was stuck in a victim mentality, waiting for life to change instead of realizing I had the power to change myself. It wasn't until I discovered the Stoic philosophers that my perspective began to shift. I remember reading Marcus Aurelius' Meditations, and something clicked. I realized that the one thing I had full control over was how I responded to life. I didn't have to be a victim of my circumstances. I didn't have to wait for the world to change for me to be happy. I could start by changing myself. I began to take full responsibility for my thoughts, emotions, and actions. When I faced a challenge, I asked myself, what can I control here? What's within my power to improve? And when I didn't have control over a situation, I focused on controlling my response to it, my attitude, my approach, and my mindset. Slowly, I began to reclaim my power. The more I embraced this Stoic approach, the more I felt liberated. Life no longer felt like an unfair struggle. I became the victor, not because everything around me was perfect, but because I learned how to respond with strength, clarity, and resilience. 5. The Stoic secret. Taking control of your response. If you're looking for the fastest way to ruin your life, let yourself be ruled by external forces. Surrender your agency. Let the world dictate how you feel and react. But if you want to unlock your full potential, take control. Embrace the Stoic wisdom that has stood the test of time. You are the master of your own mind. The truth is, life will always present challenges. No one is exempt from pain, loss, or hardship. But you are not powerless in these moments. When you take control of how you respond to each challenge, you gain mastery over your life. You can choose resilience over defeat, gratitude over resentment, and action over inaction. Life becomes less about avoiding pain and more about learning how to thrive in the face of it. The Stoic secret is simple, yet profound. You have the power to shape your reality by controlling your response. When you take back control of your thoughts and emotions, you reclaim your power. And once you do, no obstacle will seem too great, and no challenge will feel insurmountable. So, ask yourself, are you ready to take full control of your life, to stop allowing circumstances to define your happiness, and to start living with purpose and intention? The Stoics taught us that we hold the keys to our own freedom, not in avoiding life's challenges, but in how we choose to rise above them. Take action today. Subscribe and hit the bell for more insights into Stoic philosophy and practical advice that will help you unlock your inner strength. It's time to stop letting the world dictate your life. It's time to take control, to build resilience, and to live with purpose.